Hello, everybody, and happy Thursday. So, tonight we're going to be playing with this Stitched Stars dies, and that's really what we're focusing on tonight are dies. And I am using some products that have been retired, and this subtle shimmer in the white here. I'm also using the foil paper from the Waves Inspiration set, and the paper is called Blue Foils. And I matched it up with Basic Black and Bermuda Bay. Let me just... Hey, Kathy. Hey, Dew. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Margaret. And I'm using a few other products tonight also. I'm using the For My Husband sentiment from Love and Happiness. I'm using the You're Too Kind from Quiet Meadow. And then I am using from the mini catalog the Amazing Thanks dies. And that is this one right here. And I am also using the Stitched with Whimsy dies. I actually have never used these before. I've had them sitting here. This is the first time I'm using them. So tonight, from now until Monday, if you place a $35 order, hi Kathy, honey, $35 order or more, you'll receive a half a pack of DSP, and I just picked this at random. It'll be a variety of different papers, and you'll also receive a swag bag that has double-sided tape and dimensional tape. This is actually a little stamp and seal, some ribbon, and a craft eraser. And I'll also take everybody's name who places an order using the host code and put everybody's name in a hat and pick one person at random, and I will send them this Stitch Stars dies. They are retiring. So this will be an additional thank you to one lucky person who places an order. So I did get my new catalog, and it is, hey Dawn, how are you, honey? And it is gorgeous, I must say. I don't have it with me in front of me. I'll have to take a picture so you can see it. So let's get started. Give me 1 second. I need to go get a piece of paper. Hold on. Need my measurements. I needed my measurements. Sorry about that. So we'll start with the card. Like I said, just quick and easy cards. We had doctor's appointments today, and we had them yesterday, and we have them tomorrow. So we're back on lots of appointments, unfortunately. And we have a new twist to the whole situation, which is just driving us absolutely bonkers. Okay, so we have a piece of Basic Black, 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. Now I will get a PDF for these cards. It will not be posted by 12. Yeah, they are great. Hey Karen, how are you, honey? It won't be posted by 12 because we have 2 appointments in the morning, and the first one is at 11. So there's no way for me to be able to get it done and posted before I have to leave. So it'll be after 12. All right. Now I have a layer of Bermuda Bay, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and we are just going to adhere this to the front of the card. And you know what I always say, I never put my caps on, so my glue is always clogged. But quick and easy fix. So we're just going to adhere this right to the front of the card. So I hope everybody's doing good. Like I posted, there's stars in my craft room today, but there definitely are not stars in the sky. We have some storms going through. Hopefully they won't be too bad. We have rain right now, so we shall see. Okay, then I have a layer of the basic black, and this one is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And before I adhere it to the front of the card, I'm going to quick run it through my cut and emboss machine with the Whimsy stitched die. So give me 1 second. I could have done it ahead of time, but of course I didn't. Okay, so I just ran it through really quick, and as you can see, all it does is put stitching around the edge of this piece. And I need new plates. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my glue right along the edge, trying to stay a little bit away from the stitching so the glue does not bleed through. And this one is 1/4 of an inch size difference. So I have a nice border of the Bermuda Bay. And we're just going to lay that right on the front of the card. Now the stitch stars, it comes with this really pretty swirly die, and I actually cut them out in the blue foil. Now I could have adhered it to some double-sided tape, the sheets, but I didn't. We're just going to glue it to the front. And I didn't even poke everything out because I wanted to make sure that my stars stayed intact so I wouldn't lose them. You know me, when it comes to my desk, things could be sitting right here in front of my face and I miss them. All right, so we're just going to punch these out. And I want to naturally save the stars. These other pieces I do not need. Okay, so there's one. And what I'm going to do, make sure we have all the pieces out. One more little dot right there. What I want to do is take my glue, and I don't want a lot of glue on this so it bleeds through. These little pieces are just sticking right there. I am just going to take my glue and dot around this die cut. Like I said, I could have taken an adhesive sheet and laid the foil down on the adhesive sheet and then die cut it, and then you'd peel the paper and stick it right on the front of your card. So I'm just going to use glue, and I am going to fit this on the front of this card. And so it'll dry. I'm just going to take one of my blocks and use it as a press. And while that's drying, let's poke out all of these pieces. And I'm sure many of you can see already what I did, and I should not have done. I glued down the basic black layer, and I shouldn't have, because I need to trim this foil die. So we're just going to have to do it a little different. See, I got ahead of myself. Sometimes the brain is not functioning. Let's get this one out here. There we go. All right. Not too bad. So now I want to fit this on the front of the card. But like I said, I did glue that layer down and I should not have. So we're just going to eyeball this. There's a little piece sitting here. And I'm going to do a quick trim. So I'm going to just hold it so I know where to put my glue. It'll be a quick and easy fix. I have one little piece. There it goes. So I'm just going to add my glue to this end. And then I'll trim it off with my scissors instead of my cutter. So I'm just adding little dots of glue around. Okay. Now I want to make sure that when I lay this down, let's just add that down there and we'll let that dry for a second. Then out of the shimmer paper, I cut a larger star. And then also in the blue foil, I cut another star that actually has the inside that is cut out. It's a little decorative star. This stamp set has been around, this die set has been around for the last 2 years, actually. When I first started, over 2 years, I think. So when I first started Stampin' Up, this was my first, I used these stars for my first class to go. So it'll be sad to see this die set go, because it's been around for so long. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the center. And I will tell you that gluing to this glimmer paper is a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to place this down right now so this glue has time to set and I can just move it around a little. So I did have a little bit of trouble getting it to stay. So I'm just going to take it, I'm going to just lay it down, and let's grab another block here. And I'm just going to lay that block so it dries. Okay, let's go back to the front of the card. And like I said, I should have not put my black layer down, but since I did, I'm just going to take my snips and going along the edge of this black, I'm just going to trim this piece off, just like that. Now I'm going to save this piece because I actually used it on the inside of the card. Okay, so we're just going to put that aside. I cut the thanks in the blue foil. I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. And then the background, or the shadow part of thanks, I cut out in the glimmer paper. I could have done it in black, but we wouldn't have been able to see it as well. So I used the glimmer paper so I could tie it all in. And again, we're just going to adhere this. And again, we could have used a double-sided sheet and die cut it all out together. And we're just going to lay this down on the glimmer paper, and we're using the glimmer paper as the shadow. Okay, so what are we going to do? Let's put that on so it dries. And pull our card back in. Now you'll notice I did pop that up, so we'll let that dry a second. But I'm going to pull the star in. And I also popped up the star, adding a little bit of dimension to the front of the card. And I'm only going to use one dimensional in the center. And we're just going to put this right here. I'm going to grab my craft eraser. See a little bit of glue right there. These little erasers work really well. Okay. And while we're still waiting for our thanks, I'm using the Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels. This is also with the Ocean stamp set. And we're just going to grab one larger one and put it in the center of the star. Oops, you see the glue didn't really adhere. It hasn't dried yet. And then we're going to take a couple of the smaller gems, and we're just going to add it right to the front of this card. I'm going to leave the last one. Let's get this popped up. I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals this time and put it in the spaces. Nope. Pop that out. That there's enough room so we don't have our dimensionals showing through. Let's just add one more. I'm going to do this gently because, like I said, the glue takes a little time to adhere to this glimmer paper. It probably would be better using tearing tape. So we're just going to add this right to the front of the card. Want to make sure that it is on there straight. And just add one more gem right there to the front. Okay. Just like that. Now for the inside of the card, I have a layer of the Bermuda Bay 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 and basic white, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. So we're going to pull this piece in that I saved from the front. There's another little piece sticking in there. And where I cut a straight edge, I am going to put it so that straight edge goes right along the edge of this basic white. I'm going to add some glue. Just get this star over here. I'm going to stick this right at the top of the card, like I said, getting that edge right to the edge. And then we're going to pull in our sentiment. And I'm going to just clean this off really quick. I didn't clean it after I created my card before. Hey, snowy Minnesota. Can you believe there's snow again? We've really lucked out, I have to say. It's been crazy the way the weather has been. I'm going to pull in my Bermuda Bay, and the sentiment on the inside I used is "You're too kind." And again, I did add my sticker so I can make sure I put this on here straight. Sometimes, even with the sticker, I don't put it straight. There goes our weather alarm again. We've been getting weather alerts. That's how bad the weather is in Pennsylvania tonight. All right, now what I'm going to do is, instead of using the glue, I've noticed that using the glue, it's been leaving a line around the basic white. So I'm going to use the seal tonight, and we're going to lay this down on our Bermuda Bay. Just like that. And now we can use our glue. And add it to the center of our card. There we go. Let's get rid of these stars. So here is card number 1. Just a quick and easy card. Little stamping, just the sentiment, and using all die cuts. Okay, so on to the second one. Then I decided to make a tag. I haven't done a tag in a long time. So I have, again, my basic black. And it is a little less than 2 inches wide. I wanted it actually to fit within the top space. And then I cut it 6 inches long. The Bermuda Bay, I cut it at 1.5 inches wide and 5.5 inches long. So what I'm going to do is take my basic black. See, I wanted it to fit between these two, between that space. And I'm just going to cut my banner. This one fits in the next line down. And I got my banner cut. Next, I wanted to use my tag topper. And it fits the same exact way. This one goes in the top. And then we're going to turn this around. This one fits into the second slot. And you're going to feed it all the way up to the top. And there is the top of our tag. We're going to grab some glue. And I'm actually going to adhere these 2 tags together. And I'm going to line up the holes at the top. Making sure it's on there straight to create our tag. Now, using the same exact die that I used for the card, but using the shimmer paper, I cut out this swirl. And we're just going to, again, poke out all the pieces. I think that's the hardest part of making these cards, is popping everything out. Especially the glimmer paper or the foil paper seems to really stay stuck. And we're going to adhere this the same exact way. And I want to save my stars. How crazy. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I want to adhere this to the tag. And I'm going to do it exactly the same way. Oops, look at that. One more star in there. Okay. We're going to do it exactly the same way. These little swirly pieces. So tomorrow, pre-order starts for demonstrators. It's very exciting because the products this year are just lovely. I'm getting very excited. All right, we're going to use that again to hold that down. In the meantime, this ribbon is retired, and it is the Snowflake Splendor ribbon, but it matched that glimmer paper so perfectly. And I'm in the process of getting all my stuff together that is retired so I can put it in my store. So while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to make a ribbon, or tie a ribbon, or tie a bow. Thank you, thank you. Just a quick little bow. I can get it off my fingers. I tied it just a little too tight, ladies. Okay, there we go. My head is just in another world today. All right. So let's trim off our little tails. And then while we're at it, I'm just going to take another strip. And that's going to be for our little ribbon at the top. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to scoot that over. I'm going to grab, for my husband, I have this little thing here with a die and a stamp that I don't know what stamp set or die set or stamp set they go to. So it's been sitting there for a few days. I should have a contest so somebody could tell me where it belongs. All right, and I am just stamping in Bermuda Bay for my husband. And as you know, this classic label punch is my favorite, and I think it is retiring or retired, and we're just going to punch out that sentiment. And while we have it out, let's grab our gems, and we're going to put one right here at the end. Oops, just like that. Okay, so let's pull our tag back in. We're going to fold the longer ribbon in half, and I'm actually going to feed it through the front. And let's stick these little tails. I want to get it neat back through the loop. Now this is pretty, this ribbon is pretty stiff, so I just want to make sure that I don't pull it too hard and rip the top of my tag. I'm going to just turn it over, grab my bone folder, and we're just going to curl this ribbon a little bit. Oops. When I did that, I pulled the end, so let's trim these off. So it just has a little bit of a curl. Let's grab our sentiment, or our "for my husband," and we're going to stick this right up here at the top. And we're going to grab a glue dot, and we're going to attach the bow right to this tag. Oh, it's warm in here tonight, ladies. See that? My glue dots are sticky. And we're going to just add this bow. Once you get your bow, you can fluff it up. Going back to our stars that we saved, I'm going to grab a couple of the blue ones. I think I used a medium one right there. I'm going to actually use a glue dot for this. It'll stick much better. Just going to grab a glue dot, stick it in the center of this star. Let's get this other pokey tool so we can lift it up, and we're going to lay this down right in the center of this star. Now, before I press, I'm just going to line it up a little better. Okay, much better. And then we're going to take this star, and we are going to insert it right here. This is where it should fit. So we're going to just put it right back. And it is a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Right there in the center. And we're going to grab another little star. And let's pop this one up on a dimensional. We'll stick this one right here. And then we'll stick another little star right here. You can put as many or as little stars as you want. And then we're going to grab one more. We're going to grab one of the larger blue ones. Let's see if we have a small, and here we go. We have a little smaller shimmer one. And again, let's lay that right there in the middle. And I don't think I'll be able to, yep. Let's add this right here. Okay. And there we go. Quick and easy little tag. I love the shimmer paper. I wish it would come back. It's so pretty. All right, one more little box. Now this little box, I have to tell you a secret. It was intended for the little Hershey nugget bars. And my stash in my room, there are no Hershey bars left. So I actually put 2 miniature Snicker bars in here. So the little Snickers fit, but it was intended for the Hershey's, okay? Just so you know. Let me just get my sheet of paper out with my score lines, because I didn't score anything. we have a piece of basic black, and it is two and a quarter. Let's see. I have to cut a new one. Hold on 1 second. 3 5/8 by 2 1/4. Let me just do this quick. All right. Sorry about that. I cut it at 2 1/8, and that 1/8 would really set us off. So it's 2 1/4 by 3 5/8. See, my brain is just not functioning. And we are going to score this at 1 1/2 and 2 1/8. That's where the 2 1/8 came from. Okay, let's put that aside. Then we have a piece that is 3 inches by 1 inch, and we are going to score this at 7/8 and 1 1/2. We'll put that aside. Then I have some Bermuda Bay, and this is, I'm going to check it, 3 7/8 by 4 5/8, and we are going to score each side at 2, 3, 4, 5/8 and 1 1/2, 1 1/4. All right, 3, 4, 5/8, 1 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, 1 1/4. I should have used those little things that I have so I could get my 5/8 done without having to count over. And 1 1/4. And then I also cut a little piece of the glimmer paper, and this measures 1 1/4 by 2 1/8. Okay, so let's make the box first. Pull in our scissors. Let's pull in our bone folder, and we are going to fold and burnish all our score lines. Oops, one more. All around on each side. Now, taking our scissors, you can see we have 4 little corners, 4 little squares on each corner. We're actually going to cut out the outside 3 squares. So the 2 and the 1. And I like to cut the bumps out. And then we're going to create our tab, and we're going to miter these tabs, just like that. We also want to take a little tiny piece off this outside rectangle, and we're going to do this to every corner. So we have a nice double-sided box. It'll be nice and strong. Okay, so we want to just take a little piece off here, a little piece off here, head down to this corner. I'm cutting out these 3 outside boxes. Let's trim this one a little bit. There we go. And I already did that side. One more corner. do my tab, ladies. I could hear everybody yelling, "You forgot the tab!" Okay. So let's get this one out. And just miter that a little bit. And the same with this. Okay. So this is the base of our box. We're going to grab some tear and tape. It'll fold this way. So this is the outside of the box. We're going to go to the inside of the box. And we're going to add some tear and tape. If I can find the end. To each of these outside rectangles. Quick and easy. And one more. Okay. Now for these little tabs, I could use tear and tape, but I'm actually going to use some glue. So we're going to add our glue first. This way it'll get a little tacky by the time I get to the end tab. And we're going to fold these tabs in, a piece of fuzz, to create our little box. Gonna have to hold this just for a few seconds so until it adheres. Now this is a cute little box. You want to make sure that your edges are nice and straight. Just make sure they're all adhered nicely. I'm just going to open this up a little bit. And then we're going to pull off the papers. And we're going to fold these in. So I'm just going to get these all off. And we're going to go right around the sides. Now this is why when I was cutting the corners, I took a little extra piece off even these outside rectangles so they would fit nicely inside the box. And once we get these all in, whoops, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to make sure that that edge is nice and folded. So we have a nice edged box. Okay. Now we're going to pull in the basic black. We're going to fold and burnish. And we're going to grab that glimmer paper. And let's adhere this now. And we're just going to add this to one side. This little piece we're going to use as the closure. And that is the one piece I forgot. Let me just cut another little piece. 7/8 by 1 3/8. Now for this little box, I actually put the longer, this longer piece underneath, but I do not like how you can see with the Velcro, it's so fat here. So I figured this time I'm going to use this piece on the outside of the box. So this way it'll take up the whole front And hopefully I can get it where it lays down a little better. I should actually use just a glue dot to close it. And maybe that's what we'll do. So we're just going to glue that glimmer piece. Let's add some glue to the smaller section, and that we're going to put on the underside. Yep, the underside of this box. So we want to just make sure it's centered. And when you pull this up, that it's right up against, okay? And then we're going to take the other piece that we have, and we're going to add some glue to the bottom of the box and to the opposite side of our little closure. And this piece is going to go right in the seam, but you want to make sure that your glimmer piece is going to be onto the top of the box. So we're going to lay this right inside. And again, make sure that that edge is right up against the back of that box. And it closes nicely when it's all glued. We want to get that glued nice. And then this way, this little tab, it'll be a little better. Let's grab some Velcro dots. I have little circle dots, and I probably could have used them cut in half. And actually, before we put it on, I'm going to actually add the Snicker bars right now so I have a base that I can push onto. Let's add these Velcro dots. I'm going to put it right in the center this time. And we're going to hold our box closed. And I did it. And it's still just a little puffy. Just don't like the puff. Let's see if we can close it with a glue dot instead. I might not get this one off. Oh, it did come off good. I'm going to try a glue dot instead. I don't like how puffy that is. So let's just grab a little glue dot and we'll stick it right there. And they are sticky tonight. Oops. Closed it crooked, ladies. Ah, yes, much better. And then we're going to go back to our stars. And I'm going to add my stars again with glue dots because it seems to stick much better. So we're just going to decorate this little tab here with a few different stars. Let's add one more. And go back to our embellishments. I'm going to add just 2 to these outside corners. And then we have our little treat box. So, 3 quick and easy projects using the Stitch Stars dies that will be retiring. Again, If you place a $35 order, your name will go into a drawing, and I'll pick one lucky winner for these dies. And you'll also get a swag bag and a half a pack of Designer Series paper using that host code at the bottom of the screen. So ladies, thank you so much. Thanks, Kathy, for joining me tonight. And hopefully I'll be able to get on Saturday. I'm hoping anyway. So have a great night, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.